We stopped for a cup of tea on the path, and Kerry points out the mountain where is the marker. Point that out again, Kerry.
Yeah.
That mountain there is the marker for the boats coming into Feenet, or into Dingle. As we look down, what spectacular views of the landscape out towards Inch over the back of the mountains there in South Kerry. But look at that for a wonderful view this Sunday morning. Would you swap it for Watford, Kerry?
I certainly would. On a day like today, there is nothing finer.
On a day like today, there's nothing finer. I echo the words of Kerry Loose. As we drink tea here on the Kerry Camino. The wild roses are blooming on the Kerry Camino and the dogs are barking. And an apple tree growing wild, unhindered by present day pollution. Now this morning Kerry has opted for the hot tub, which is extra. It doesn't come with the normal package, but he's kind of slow to go at it because he doesn't have company, but he's hoping some company will come along. And behind our backs the view out towards Dingle Bay. As we near our journey's end, we come across some leprechaun droppings on the ground. Now they're very much like sheep droppings. The only way of really telling is by feel and touch. The difference between sheep droppings and leprechaun droppings, of course, leprechaun droppings are much softer, so to distinguish you've really got to pick them up and have a feel of them, you know. So we leave you with that thought as we journey on towards Dingle town. And now as we view these, Kerry has just a thought.
I'm just thinking that Maltese eaters would want to be careful in this country.
The water flows off the mountains here in abundance, and Kerry, we're looking over now the pathway. There's a car far off in the Connor Pass Road, which will come out shortly, but lovely view of the foam in the river as it meanders its way down into Dingle Bay. As we journey on across the bridge here now, we have to remember one of our volunteers on the Kerry Camino, Niall Kelly. Niall, of course, was from Carsley in Tralee, and Niall was volunteering with us from the very outset of the Kerry Camino, and he would be on these journeys with us, putting up signs and filling stamp boxes. And Niall, of course, came from Ballinollig Estate originally, and can't come on one of these journeys without thanking him. He passed away earlier in this year. Kerry is standing now at the last stamping station before reaching Dingle, and we're still 4 or 5 kilometres from Dingle, but it's the last stamping station. And just as I have mentioned, Niall was with me 5 or 6 years ago when we first placed this stamping station here for the Kerry Camino, and we always remember him when we're going out doing these jobs. I've often maintained that any Camino I've ever done in Ireland or Spain, that the morning starts with a climb out of some village or town, and of course if there's a climb out there's a fall in, and we're on top of the fall in now into Dingle town, the last leg of the Kerry Camino. We're approaching Main Street in Dingle as we look up the street to the Church of St. James was hidden behind those houses there, and we see Kerry coming down the road on the last leg of our journey this morning, and our mission's accomplished. And I must say, Kerry is in far better shape than I am, as he comes down into Main Street and turns right for the Church of St. James. We're in the yard of the Church of St. James in Dingle, church built on the Spanish style. Our destination on the Kerry Camino. And we have this signage done from Lispole from Keen's shop in Lispole all the way to Dingle town. And if one gets lost on that stretch of the Camino now, the next call needs to be into one or two of the Harties, the opticians in Tralee, Roger in Borby, son-in-law of the great footballer Seamus Murphy from Camp, and in the centre of town, CH Chemists, where Claire and her staff will be able to sort your eye problem out, because there are so many signs now you can miss them. That's our morning's work done, and our mission is accomplished. We ended our morning in Paul Graney's bar and restaurant for breakfast, where the staff were most helpful and all COVID restrictions were observed, and we were sanitized coming in the door, and our job now has come to an end.